Welcome to it, welcome to it, welcome to it. Yes, I'm gonna be having a mini one with Thandi, the writer. Yes, there she is. Alrighty. Welcome, lady.
Welcome, welcome.
Sawubona njani?
Ngi-right njani?
Hayi nami right man, hayi. Right akho nto. IsiXhosa bathi is right akho nto.
Hayi ngeke ngizwe bethi
Akho
akho
nto.
nto.
Ngani? Isingisi?
No, ngeke ngizwe kuthiwa bethi akho nto, kuthiwa ngisho ubabingelela bathi hayi akho nto, akho nto.
Keke lana. Yane. So yeah man. Yes, welcome to it. Welcome to Indlela Ibuza Kwa Phambili. Today I'm having a lady. The first time it was regarding to that lady because she had a book that she wanted to, so she needed information. So yes, now I'm having Istering Sakona, Thandi writer. Thandi, before we get lost, what are the soapies that you watch that are Zulu soapies that you watch? Because lately there's a soapie that is just Bimnandi. I used to watch it and I used to enjoy it a lot.
All right. No, angazi noma iqualify as soapies because khona ama-soapie, khona ama-telenovela. But mina ngiyabuka iSkim Sami, ngiyabuka Imbewu.
Siyizwe iSkim Sami.
Yeah. Ngiyasibuka.
Akhuluma isiPedi.
Hayi no, not all the time. Not all the time. Yeah, but ngiyasizwa iSkim Sami. Yeah, iSkim Sami, Imbewu. And recently bekune-drama ebithi Isifiso. Ayi beyimnandi.
Nice. Now, I see all of them. I like iHostel.
Yeah. Oh, how can I forget?
That's my favorite. I see Nyasbona zonke ne.
Yeah.
iHostel. I remember back then I used to stay in Nature and I used to watch it like until 3 a.m. Because the whole, let's say from 7 to 8 and 9 and 10, let's say from 7 to 8, kunabantwana besibukela amapopayi nathi kumele sibe lapho because abantwana uthola babukela amapopayi. Later on is the Queens and all that.
Yeah.
After that, then I'll start to watch all the episodes because it was saved, yabo. So that was nice. Hi man, welcome Thandi, welcome. Isibongo sakubani because you can't be Thandi the writer and the poet. Because ngiyazibuza nje Thandi.
Okay, uThando wakaSangweni but ushadele kaZondi, so hence incwadi ibhalwe Thandiwe Sangweni Zondi.
Oh, double barrel.
Double barrel.
Ayashisa. Kanti i-double barrel asiye ku-doctor.
I know. But it's only on the book, It's only on the book. But nje Thandiwe Zondi certificate somshado.
Hayi izinto at least ngiyasibuza sinjani leso certificate somshado. Hayi sizofika bandla.
Yeah.
Hayi sizofika. Welcome to it. Today is all about you. No one. You're not gonna be showing someone ropes of how to publish a book, how to do whatever. It's gonna be about tell me about the turn page. And anyway, the little I know you, I'm just gonna be introducing you. I see we have our last week's interviewer, Mabel Ledwaba. She is the one that I was interviewing last week. She's the CEO of Havila Beauty, the makeups and all that. So ngibonile now bushama makeup ngithi yazi izinto zaka Mabel singa hey yabo. So the little is Thandi is a writer of a book called Tell Me About the Turn Page. And my understanding of the turn page, I've been thinking about it so much the whole day, to a point where, for instance, I understood that everyone on earth, they have a turn page. Ooh, yes. Mara, let me don't take your shine. I know this is your shine, this is your time. So I'm gonna need you to be the one that actually explains. Ubani uthandi, because I won't do justice, because I only know this part, the turn page part. I only know you about the turn page. I don't know about going forward. So yes, welcome Thandi.
Hi,
Hit us, tell me.
welcome, and hi to everyone who's on this live. So, Thandi uzalelwe kaMaphumulo in KZN, wakhulela
Yes.
eMlazi. So, finished high school education yakhe, high school, Vukuzakhe High School. Then further went on to study fashion design. So I'm also a qualified fashion designer. I have a diploma in fashion design. And for now, I work as administrator goods receiving say macro emanzimtoti. So I'm a writer, published writer. I'm a poet also. Yeah. And obviously I'm a mother, I'm a wife, a sister, an aunt to some. Yeah. That's Thandiwe in a nutshell.
Awukafiki ukuthi ube ugogo?
Not yet. Not at 40, yeah? My children are still young.
Yeah, because bakhona uthola umuntu awusukugogo nje, like, serious.
Yeah, it depends.
So yes.
Yeah.
So it seems Umlazi Gangster nje usho ukuthi like it's where you, because the only time I started to know about Umlazi, it's when, for instance, we saw Umlazi Gangster. That's the only time. That's when I was exposed to Umlazi. Then we started to be interested in also, kunenkandla, there's many places that I once had a team. But yeah, there are many actually that I've had also. It's just amagama khona ayangilahlekelwa. But anyway, I'm gonna need you to actually maybe usichazele regarding the turn page, or you can just let's just get to it from now.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you get?
Yeah.
How ufike njani ukuthi ubhale this turn page? Or maybe just explain. First, you can just explain, what is this? Tell me about the turn page.
All right. So tell me about the turn page is title yencwadi. It's a poetry book. In our poems out 31. There's 31 poems in the book. Different poems, different emotions, love, hurt, motivation, inspiration. There's basically everything there. But I would like to start from the beginning, right? So I first fell in love with poetry when I was, ngaleso sikhathi used to say it was standard 3. I don't know what it's called now. So that's why I first fell in love with poetry. But then my love for poetry grew when I was in high school, when I was in Vukuzakhe High School. And we used to read poetry books like Mosaic. I don't know if you know that book. It's called Mosaic. It's a poetry book.
Which one?
Mosaic. It's called Mosaic. No. You don't know the book? Yeah. Mosaic. And I also, yeah, there were also books that I love, like To Kill a Man's Pride. It was short stories. So that's where I discovered, okay, I actually have love for writing, but especially poetry, because poems, okay, fine, you get told, here's a poem, ikaze, ihluze, what was the emotion behind the poem, what was this, but those poems were so complicated. Amanya balwe like Julius Caesar, yabon. So yeah. From then, I vowed I will write a poetry book one day, a poetry book that will do something for the reader. It will either teach them a certain lesson, or it will heal them from something. So at the end, the person must gain something after reading the book. It mustn't be just, oh, okay, it's a book, I read it, I understood it, but they have to relate to the book. That's what I wanted by this book. Yeah. So like you've introduced it already. I don't know if you can see it. There is the book. It's called Tell Me About the Turn. Yeah, it's
I know the book.
Yeah, it's an intriguing anthology. So I just quickly read it out at the back so everyone can get a brief. The book is about
how many pages?
Yeah, Tell Me About the Torn Pages is a collection of memories, experiences, and lessons I've learned over the years. They are told through poetry. This book teaches lessons that will touch and change lives for the better. It also evokes emotion and takes you on a journey of love, happiness, sadness, and more. So, like I've said, there's a poem for everyone here. There's a poem for every emotion. But going back to the title, Tell Me About the Torn Pages, there's also a poem inside. I think it's one of the first poems in the book. Yeah, it is the first poem in the book, page number 1. Tell Me About the Torn Pages. It is, like you said before, we all have torn pages. We all have those things that we've gone through that we don't want the world to know. Things that we shy away from talking about. You see, like a writer, I'll use an example like myself, I'm a writer. So sometimes I will write things and then I will say, hey, no, the world doesn't need to know about this. So I will tear those pages out and you'll find, I have a lot of these small pages that are torn, you know. So for different reasons, we all have torn pages. So Mina, by this book, when I was saying, tell me about the torn pages, I was saying, let's not bottle things up. Let's talk about things. I want to know your torn. I want to know about your torn pages. Tell me about your torn pages. So it's basically the book is striking a dialogue between the book and the reader. It's basically a book you can take anytime because there's a poem you can relate to. So if you don't want to talk to someone, you can talk to this book here. Because most of the things in this book are things that we all go through on a daily basis. So hence, striking the dialogue between the book and the reader. So in it's in jail. Tell me about those things that you're hiding or things that hurt you or things that when you look back on, you know, things you're not proud of.
So T, Angel, what is the importance of talking about the torn page? So let me just put my understanding of the torn page, maybe to someone who just joined. Oh, yes. Yeah, so okay. 2 seconds. Let me just do something. I just have a 2-second emergency. Apologies. Apologies, I had some emergency that I had to attend to. Sorry about that one. So sorry, team. Okay, so let me just welcome Ununkululeko. Mehlo, I see Chabi JC4 live. Toby Le Mangele 3, Jerusha. I think some of them are your friends, eh? Jerusha to Rasami, Langa, Tabi. Okay, Tabi Sbo. Okay. And okay, I see Vato 1933 Vatos, okay, and I see Vate. Oh, hi Vatos, okay, hi. Okay, sharp, okay. Apologies for that one. I just had some emergency that I had to attend to. Sorry on that one. Okay, my understanding of a torn page is, let's say example. Most of the time I used to have guys that will come and tell me scary things. And since I was young, like people will come and be like, a guy will come and be like, I was once raped. Be like, what? So something that, for instance, he has never told anyone. Yabo. So that's where, for instance, it's a torn page, something that you never told anyone. So I just wanted you to just elaborate on that one of saying, the torn page, what is the importance of someone telling us or telling about the torn page? What is the importance of actually putting that torn page into or telling you about the torn page? What is the importance of that one? Yes.
So basically the importance of that is that you heal by telling your story, because when you keep it bottled inside, you know, it keeps eating you up. So the whole aim is that you heal, and by telling your story, you don't know, maybe you're healing the other person from something that, you know, they've also gone through, they might also be willing to share or maybe not to share. But the whole point is that you heal and you move past those things that that hurt you. So that's basically the importance of talking about torn pages, because in this case it's a book, so I had to say torn page, but it's not necessarily a torn page. Sometimes as a page, we all have our pages, you know, somewhere in our hearts we have these things that I refer to as torn pages.
Wow. Okay. So what are the torn pages? Because I noticed something. There's actually, most of us actually, Tina Amachita, we have a problem of having to confide in someone, because of sometimes I might confide Uti, then Uti, let's say I can confide in my partner. Then the person, after they use it against me when we have an argument. So that's where I think most guys, they are afraid to speak about the torn page, because the torn page at the end of the day end up being used against them. So what can you say to the guys that are actually scared to do that? Because most of them, they end up killing themselves. Most guys that are actually end up committing suicide and all that is because of that torn page.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yes.
This works only for me, but sometimes when you write, it's little by little every day. When you write, you start healing. In fact, that's what it did for me. There's a lot of things which I didn't realize would see how much they hurt me until I wrote this book. And when I was reading the book, I was saying, Aibo, so this is really how this thing affected me, or, you know, this is how I overcame a certain situation. So if you can write, I talk to strangers. Strangers don't know me. They can go tell. Who are they gonna go tell about me? Because sometimes you meet a person in a taxi, they start telling you their life story, and then, you know, now I get to open up to them with no fear which one day this person will, you know, I'll find my story somewhere. Yeah, so I found that talking to strangers sometimes helps.
Wow. Okay. Can you just maybe hit us with one of your poem that it's, because I remember there was one that you did. I remember playing in the park and all that, children, there of the, you see, even you made pictures, like, you know, the reason why that poem that you actually shared, it's so relatively to us, because it's actually what we went through. It's actually where he talks about the laughter of children. Man, so let me don't steal your show. I just want to hear from you. What?
Okay, let's do this here, right? I'm not going to recite the poem. That one is listen to the chatter. The one, I think the one you're talking about is listen to the chatter, right?
Yes.
Do you mind if I call out the titles, and if any catches your fancy, or anybody who's on this live here, if they wanna hear that poem, they can ask me to read that one. Yeah. Okay, so yes, I'm just gonna read them all quickly, and then you can decide, whoever's on this live can decide. So the first poem, Tell Me About the Torn Pages, like I've said, Out of Reach. It's about love. Here's to You. It's about my mother. Happy Birthday. It's a normal birthday poem about a parent and a child. Down Memory Lane. I love this one. I hope you haven't forgotten to leave. If only, if this day was a person. I don't know what this day means to you. Scattered. Love in Silence. Will this street ever be alive again? Service Number. Side by Side. Do not tell me I don't know pain. Look closer, search deeper. That's about bullying in school or work bullying. Many won't understand. Gender. Walk back with me to my youth. It's about my father. Yesterday was not just yesterday. Tell me I won't get lost in the before you pull that trigger. When your 10 comes knocking. Letter to the man I love. Listen to the chatter. I wish I could write about you. Letter to my princess. I ran away today. If eyes could talk, this dust will settle. And is the sun really out? That's the last poem in the book. It's about the floods that we suffered in KZN. So
Wow.
I don't know if you.
Sure. Okay. I hope you what? Now
I hope you haven't forgotten to leave.
Yeah, I hope you haven't forgotten to leave. And I saw the one about bullying and walk back. Letter to my what? Man.
Letter
what?
to the
Husband.
man I love.
There's no letter to the wife I love. I'm joking.
Yeah. So which one? Which one? We can do one or two. But
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do Is the Sun Really Out? Because that one I can even recite it. I haven't, recited all, but I'll do Is the Sun Really Out? It was basically about the KZN floods, and our houses were damaged, our yards were damaged. So we were busy clearing, sorting out the house, and suddenly the sun came out. And I thought to myself, look at this, the sun is out. And, after everything that we've lost, after everything that's happened, look at this. Where was the sun when we needed it? So hence I came up with the poem, Is the Sun Really Out? So I will just recite it, right? So it says, Is the sun really out? Tell me, is the sun really out? Or is this all a ploy, a conspiracy for tragedy to ambush us while our backs are turned? While we are rummaging through clutter trying to salvage whatever pieces are left of our livelihood. For others, there isn't anything left to salvage. What awaits them what awaits them is a new life of coexisting with strangers in packed community halls. Tell me, is the sun really out? Or is tragedy using a mirage to blind us while we grieve, while we mourn the souls lost after the floods? Tell me, is the sun really out? Or is tragedy planning to kick us while we are down at the riverbanks, lakes, and bridges, searching for souls feared to be washed away, buried deep down in the and layers of mud? Tell me, is the sun really out? Or is tragedy mocking us and disregarding all the pain, physical and emotional turmoil that we've suffered? Will the sun stay out long enough for us to seek shelter, bandage our wounds, and find closure? Will the sun stay out long enough for us to rebuild broken bridges with the aim of making our way home one day? For the sake of us all, I hope the sun stays out long enough for us to rebuild our beautiful culture of Ubuntu and lend a helping hand when needed. For the sake of us all, I hope the sun stays out long enough for us to find shelter that is indestructible. They say time heals all wounds, and that one day we will forget all about this. But how can we forget when so many lives were lost and many are still waiting to be found? Nonetheless, we'll pick up our spades, bricks, and courage and start living again. We will start living again. But tell me, is the sun really out, or is this all a facade?
Sure. Okay. Wow. I just don't have those yeah. Because I know last year at Gaga CFM, obviously when you do that, they'll be like, wow, there's like also that. But yeah, wow. Okay. It's just a facade. Oof. Yeah. Is the sun really out?
Yeah, because remember, they kept saying, no, the rain is going to come back, so we really didn't know what awaited us. So when I looked at the sun, I said, you know what, this sun is only here to fool us. It's still going to come back, and wipe away our houses. I don't know. So that's why, that's where the motivation for this poem came about.
Wow. And nice thing I like about it is it's just written on the palm of your hand, just on the table of your heart. You can recite it at the back of your mind. There's one thing that I'm thinking, like I'm failing to understand is that why so many great poems that most of the time we only just hear about these poems only now. Like, when was it? There was a day, I forgot, I think last week, I had Mduduzi and Samuel. Those guys I know for years. One I go to church with. It was the first time I hear the guy reciting a poem. I'm like, why is it the first time that we are hearing about these poems? And I think also the reason why most of the time poems are not as popular as like music, as like house, as like all that and my piano and all that, I think it's because of many people, they don't understand the importance of poetry. So what is the importance actually of poetry? What is it that it's so important about poetry that we should actually, if there's maybe the investment into it, where can people actually perform poetry? What's the important? What is the important of poetry?
So, Mina, for me, poetry is very healing. It is very healing. For myself, it's just that, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know, it's not as recognized as the normal music, your amapianos, you know. Even with events, what I've noticed is that I've recently just tried uh, performing, you know, going to events, because normally I write, so I don't recite a lot. I don't go to events. So I said, let me just go and try and see what happens in these events. So what I noticed is the established guys, you know, I can't mention names, but you know, the established poems, some of them you'll find them in collaborations, in songs, you know. Some of those
Yes.
guys tend to close the door once they come in. You know, they don't open opportunities for other guys. There's a bit of selfishness when it comes to things like gigs. You know, you'll find the same people performing in certain places, and they're not really like giving back and grooming upcoming artists, you know, like, because poets are regarded as artists as well. So yeah,
Correct. Yes.
there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of, you know, people are people. So not all of them. There are some who are willing to reach out and help, you know, those people who are still trying to climb up the ladder. But yeah, some of them just once they reach up, they kick the ladder down. So that's why you get to you don't get to know about these people and their poems. In fact, not only just poems in the writing world. I was shocked that one of the ladies that we were launching our books with, she said she had 20 books, published books.
What?
20 published books, and I don't know your name. I don't know you. I don't even know a single one of your books. But also with that, especially when it comes to books, we go to publishers, right? It's every writer's dream to see their work published. So what we get caught up in the hype, you know, we're paying for the services. We don't really check how much is a publisher doing for me in terms of marketing, publicizing my book, you know, things like that. Most books get washed away because they don't get enough publicity. They're not marketed properly. So that's why you find a person having written 20 books and you don't know about them. You see, I don't know that there isn't an enough platform to advertise the books. Like, there is social media. I advertise on social media now and then, you know. But other than that, you know, you have to go to malls to sell the book. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but basically the marketing, the publicity of an artist's work is you know, it hasn't reached a stage where it has to, because when you think of it, really 20 books, if a person has published 20 books, I should know at least one of their books, or at least I should know the ending.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you just wonder what happens to these things. Hence, remember that day I told you about the poem, Tell Me I Won't Get Lost in the Crowd. That it is related exactly to that. To say, tell me my work won't just perish without being known.
Oh, Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so this
okay.
is
Now it makes sense. But I think the times also has a little bit changed.
mm,
Remember back in the old days, we used to listen to radios. You'll find like many people gathered around the radio listening to a story, a certain drama on radio. It was something, it was a flex.
yeah.
Like tomorrow we'll be talking about it. You heard. But these days we are gravitating bit by bit far away from what we used to know. So also when it comes to books, many people. So is your book also? Is it also?
Digital.
Can someone be able to digital?
No, not yet. I'm still
Okay.
speaking to my publisher about that because yeah, that's it. Technology, people will be glued up to their phones reading this. There's this She novel, this, that, all these websites where you download books and you read them. So yeah.
Because I'm thinking because it's rare out of the whole 100%. I think maybe we have maybe 10% that you'll still find holding a copyright book, reading it.
Yeah.
People are drifting away so much. So I think also we're gonna have to capitalize and go with the flow of how things are done. Then it seems then when it comes to the market and all that, then we're gonna be able to just go with the flow of okay, since things are like this, let's also go and do what and put them on digital. Oh my word, digital.
Yeah.
Oh my word, that
Yeah,
just went.
that's actually what I'm
So
planning
now,
to do with my next book.
oh, what about this one? Why can't you do this one?
I'm still talking with my publisher. He was a bit skeptical about doing it digitally, but we will go back to it. Right now, we just focused on pushing the book. Whatever copies are left for now that we printed, we just focus on pushing that, getting the message out there, getting the book known, and then, we will go on the digital access of the book. Because there are people who
So
ask me,
out of
can they
the
access the book digitally? So I am working on that, but for now, I just want to get rid of the copies, the hard copies that I have. There isn't much left, about
yes.
20. But once I get rid of that, then I can put my focus on that. Then once that is up and running, I can focus on the new book that I plan to release in 2023.
Wow, that's nice.
Mm.
Okay, tell me, let's say I think the digital way also it's gonna be a good one because let's say there's someone who's in America, because I believe that as people, what we go through, someone out there also go through the same thing. So there might be someone, because also here I have friends in there's one in America, there's one also, it was in Canada, and yeah, those few, Australia and all that. There's few of them where you find, for instance, when you talk about things like this, then whatever it is that side, it's relative to what we go through. We think like maybe whatever they are going through, it's maybe up. No, they are going through whatever it is that we go through. So I think also the digital way can be able to assist in order to reach out to even outside the country. So okay, what can people get out of your book actually? What is it that can be someone, if for instance someone has to buy your book, what is it that they will get or they will benefit or that will actually transform their life, their mind, their way of thinking? What is it that they can be able to get out of your book? I see you have a problem of network there. It's rolling. Oh my word. Network. Aish, network. Okay. She's having a network problem that side, so I'll just have to re-add her so that she can be able to just give us that. Yeah, let's get this one going. Okay. Yes, so we're talking about the book. Tell me about the turn page. Tell me about the turn page. So we're on where, for instance, regarding the digital part of how to do a book digital, and what is it that can people get out of this book? Because these days many people they actually don't read books. So that's why, for instance, we just want to know from Thandi, what can actually be found in her books regarding this. What is it that we can get in this? So it can help us to be able to. I wonder what's wrong with Thandi. Maybe it's network that side, because these days also on my side there's many shows that actually skipped due to network. So let's just try her again. Let's try her again. Oh, izwa imithandazo yethu. So yes, so we're talking about the digital part of, so for her to can be able to reach out to all over the world. Uh, the book, maybe it can be digital. It helps because there's someone who can be in America, can be in Australia, who can be in Brazil. Maybe even here, actually, I saw there's people from South Africa that are in England, Manchester, and all that. So there's many that are there. Then you find there's someone who can find the book interesting. Then you find they wanna buy it. So it's good for entrepreneurship or a businesswoman or a writer to actually put the book as a what you call this, as a, okay, Thandi is struggling to join, as in electronic, so that people can be able to access it. It can really help so much. I think Thandi is having a problem, so let me just check. After a mini break. So yes, that was the, because I just wanted to know what is it that can be found in Thandi's book, in the tone page. Tell me about the tone page. Tell me about the tone page. I noticed it's a book that is containing a lot of subject in it. The subjects where, for instance, it talks about. I saw there was topics that I actually jotted down that I hope you have. Uh, it says, "I hope you haven't forgotten to leave." Phew, that's another one. And also the one about bullying. There's also about walking back, a letter to my to the men I love. So there's also about the one of the floods in KZN. So there's many things. So actually, the book, it includes so much and everything in it. So that's where, for instance, I believe whoever can be able to wanna buy it can be able to learn or to can benefit from there. There's a lot that can be learned from that book. And one thing that I've noticed also about the book is that it helps and it actually changes your mentality when it comes to when a person who has been bottling things inside, because it's very dangerous for people to bottle things inside. When you bottle things inside, either way, it's gonna come out. And sometimes it needs a pressure for it to come out. So that's another problem. So most of the time, let's say, for instance, most guys, they actually take it out on people that are close to. Sometimes you find there's ones that are taking it out on their spouse. So it's a little bit ugly. So of which it's gonna need a way for you to be able to can take out that, to can be able to have a way where you can be able to unleash or release that part to say, this is what is happening. So yes, apologies. I see you went out. Oh my word, and your network, it's, oh yeah, it's hectic. But thanks for joining again. Let's just finish off with that of, oh my word, I see her network is actually still giving us problems. Oh my word, oh my word. Hello.
We're back again.
Oh,
See the network. Very disappointing, huh?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Okay, let's just finish off with this one. What is it that can people find from your book? Why should someone buy your book, and where can they get it? And is there any stores that are actually having your book?
Okay, for the moment, I sell the book. You can get the book from me. So if you don't live near Durban, I courier the book via the Pexi courier service that's run by Pep Stores. So if a person wants the book,
Okay.
they deposit the money. So if you want the book to get to you in 3 days, there's a 100 rand courier fee that Pep charges. So the book itself is 140 rands. So you pair that up with the courier fee. So it's 240 rands. But if you're willing to wait 7 days for your book, you only have to pay 60 rands at Pep to have me courier the book to you. So let's say you're willing to wait the 7 days. When you deposit the money to my account, you just deposit 200 rands, 140 for the books, 60 rands for the courier charge. Then nearest Pep store, you need to get the store code, send it to me, and then I will send the book to you. There is no stores that are currently selling the book. I have an agent though who's trying to speak to exclusive books to keep the book, so we don't know how that's going to work out. We're still in talks with exclusive books to keep the book, to have the book there in their store, because we had a bookstore, Adams and Greeks, here in Durban. They closed down. Also a victim of technology. So yeah, they closed down, and they were a big bookseller, but they ended up closing down because, challenges. Yeah, but yeah, if a person needs the book, they need to get in touch with me, either via WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. On Facebook, it's Thandi Wezondi. It's just Thandi Wezondi on Facebook. Then obviously Instagram, Thandi Writer and Poet. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So for someone who wants to maybe write a book, because there might be someone who has been thinking of writing a book, what is it that they can do, or what is the first thing they can do actually?
Well, the first thing that you need to do, obviously, is to have your manuscript ready. Basically, some people write in a two-choir exercise book by hand, or some even type the book if they have access to a computer and a printer. So if it's let's say if it's a novel, you have to have that manuscript ready. It doesn't have to be perfect. It will go through the editing process. So make sure you check for the nearest publisher, but make sure you know what is the publisher gonna do for you. Make sure, do you know what are they contributing when it comes to marketing? Know for everything that you pay for. You need to know all the steps and make sure that you don't pay for one thing twice. Just be on the lookout that you don't get fooled around with.
So did you empty yourself out regarding the book and everything? Because are you satisfied? Did you empty out everything? Because today it was just you. There was no one. So
yeah,
were you able to share everything that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I did. So yeah, this is a very nice book. It's a journey to healing. In fact, there is one of the lines where I say, "Come with me on a journey to healing." So if you want to heal yourself from whatever, there's a poem for every emotion in this book. Yeah, love, everything, inspiration. I saw you liked listen to the chatter. You were talking about listen to the chatter. Yeah, so we might just close this whole thing up by reading that in case for those who don't know the poem, I see part of the poem. Yeah, so God, my daughter just and she left the door open so I can hear the sound of the TV in the back. ground. So I will quickly. We have to open and close the show everywhere. Even in church, we open with prayer and we close with prayer. So I think we should do the same here. Yeah. So I'll just listen to. I'm not going to recite it. I'm going to read it. So it says, listen to the chatter. It's a poem about childhood memories, and sometimes we as adults find ourselves going through things. So this poem, it just says, go back to your childhood. Maybe when you go back to your childhood, you might gain something from there. So it's a look back to childhood. So the title of the poem is Listen to the Chatter. So it says, the sound of joyful screams echoes in the playground. The sun is shining and tree swings go up and down. I could live here all day if the real world didn't keep calling. This world knows no sin, no crime, no prosecution. 30 years ago, I lived in this very same world, a sane world. Now I only see this world through my children. Pure love and honesty is in abundance here. Listen to the chatter. Look at the kites and paper planes in the air. It is a wonder that such a peaceful and innocent world exists. Block out all the ambient noises. Now listen to the laughter. For many, this is the last place they ever felt alive. Hide and seek is the order of the day here. The menu is ice cream, cotton candy, and lollipops here. Here the playlist is only nursery rhymes. This is where dreams and talents are discovered. Now turn it all off, shut it all down and just listen. Listen to the chatter, listen closely. The only fears here are falling off a tree or falling off a swing, losing your kite or losing your ball. Still, even if that were to happen, no sorrow would come from it. It still won't stop the chatter. Listen to the cheer. It definitely will not solve your problems, but it may awaken the child in you and put a smile on your face. Listen to the chatter. On bad days, it could be noisy for others. For others, it is a sign that good still exists in the world. Listen to the chatter and tell me about the journey it took you on. Listen to the chatter. Yeah.
Wow. Listening to this one, it takes me back to most of us childhood, where you realize that there are many things that we actually skipped. There are many children there where you find certain childhood they didn't experience. When you talk about it, as you said, we see it through our children. Some of them never even experienced all this nice stuff the children now that are facing. And there's one thing that I once loved about, let us not allow history to repeat itself. If, for instance, we grew up without parents, or grew up without a father, or grew up without a mother, or grew up without whatever, let us not allow that to happen to our children, because we know the pain of not having that. You see. So now, when you're speaking about this, we see all these things through our children. Some of us, we're starting to realize that I didn't experience 1, 2, and 3 because of my children are the one experiencing this, and I've never encountered this. So it actually makes you think a lot. It actually takes you down memory lane. It takes you far. If you read it with a sober mind, it will take you very far. You can visit many places while you are here. So it's a very good book. I'll try one day to just see if I can be able to get it also. To just get it. But I would love it to be on digital. It will be very nice because I have so many books on my phone.
Yeah.
It's easy. I can be wherever, and I see people are busy, whatever, I can just get into the book. It's very nice like that. So when I see the time, it flew actually. It just flew. It just went shoo.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for us with your presence, man. It has been awesome. As always, it has been awesome. I'm grateful, and I really thank God that I'm always, when I'm doing maybe interviews or these chats, I get so much information. I get so much wisdom. I just feel I'm just surrounded by so much wisdom, and I'm very grateful for that one. Thanks so much, T.
Thank you so much,
I'm
Maxwell.
forgetting your surname. I'm not good with names.
Yeah, thanks. And to everyone else who was on this live, thank you guys for joining.
Yes,
Thanks, and have a lovely
all right.
evening,
Thanks to everyone.
everyone. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Alrighty. Thank you. Alrighty. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. I see from Ambassador. Let me just call all of them. I see from Ambassador. Okay, Tobile, Jerush. I see Langa Tabisbo. Okay, Langa Tabisbo. Okay, I see it's two people, one person. Okay, Vatos 1933. Thank you. I see Balo Jonasi 40. Thank you. I see also Nongululeko. Thank you. So thank you guys for tuning in. It has been awesome with Utilan. Thank you so much. That it's Maxwell Mudau signing out.